Greetings and salutations, everyone. I'm Mechamac. This is Let's Play Oxygen Not Included. In the last episode, actually between episodes, Hassan earned a new skill point. We've already maxed out super hard digging, so I think we actually want to go into electrical engineering. Even though we have mechatronics engineering, we still want to be able to build the advanced electronics when the time comes. Anyway, last episode we actually got our first overjoyed reaction. Steve yodeled to us all day. Everyone loved it. It was a miraculous performance, definitely. He's our own idol. But anyway, we are still sort of hovering over the line with our meat per day, because our food at the moment is now pretty stable. The problem is that we specifically need a certain amount of meat each day if we're going to meet our carnivore achievement. And in fact, I think I'm going to look at that again right now. Anyway, back out of that so we can get some time for. So we're still hovering over the 7,800 line. The deadline is getting tighter, but we're still good because we actually eat 9,000 kilocalories of food each day. Even so, it's going to be nice when we don't have extremely old hatches in here anymore. Also, I think I might need to... Ren is having a problem of not being able to groom someone every day. Anyway, I guess he can start working on getting his athletics up. Honestly, the problem probably is that he just spends too much time running back and forth for the food, so we should probably start working on getting the food organized. Someone just nearly starved. Nearly, but they're fine. No, wait, I wasn't finished building that. Please. One conveyor bridge there, one conveyor bridge there. Install a conveyor receptacle each. Oh, I actually don't know whether that'll count. The thing is, these work on a specific point, and I don't know which point. Oh, right, we need to absolutely make sure that we brick this in before it causes ranch size problems, because 69 plus 82, that is definitely beyond the max room size of 96. because we need to eat, but so do our hatches. Alright, our water recycling plant is just about in order, which means that we need to make sure that we do this right. So, set this for polluted water, level 9. Oh, actually, wait. This is filled, but we want to set this box to take in sand. Steve getting the construction material ready. Is it the brake? Yeah, it's Nisbet's brake. Darn. So what's keeping Steve? Steve is just supplying things for the construction. And now he's disinfecting the toilets because that's what you need to do. Actually, if you ever do get annoyed with the number of times they go to disinfect something that doesn't need to be clean, you can hit disable disinfect. And so the way it works is that when they reach a certain level of germs, and you can choose what level you want, that's when it'll automatically generate a disinfection errand. And I guess I should tick off the outhouses because you're always going to walk past the sand wash basins to get at them. And oh, here's what we have to do. We have to make sure that he stays I don't get what happened there. But basically, people are going to be running extremely germy, polluted water out of here, all the way into here, and we want to make sure that whatever they take in, basically we want to make sure that whoever goes in with the germy water doesn't leave until this sink is prepared. So we've discovered smelting. Nice. I should probably show off the sorts of things that we've been researching over the last few days, but we should also set up the next research. Honestly, we're going to need this sooner or later. We might as well get it sooner. But the things that we've researched. Okay. The fire pole. Allows rapid duplicate descent, significantly slows upward climbing. Build these in addition to ladders for efficient upward and downward movement. So what? This is why we left a sort of a 3-tile wide corridor here. They'll travel down quickly, and while traveling up is going to be at a more normal speed, it is going to help us speed up our travel through the place. Also, skills. Nisbet learned something new. Nisbet learned how to have a better bedside manner. Right, you're carrying a lot of nasty stuff over there. Oh, wait. I should actually leave the disinfect on for this. Because we want to make sure that you don't pick up anything in this bathroom until you've gotten your hands washed. And that sends it back through. It won't properly go through this pipe until this liquid pump is finished. Actually, I should probably... Oh, right. pipe physics are a thing that I actually would like to explain a bit. So, there are 3 types of piping. Liquid pipes, gas pipes, and conveyor rails. They're basically for the 3 types of matter. For gases, for liquids, or for solids. But they do have some similar functions, but they also do have differences, aside from we can't transport that sort of element. Gas pipes can only hold 1,000 grams of a substance. Oddly, the gas pumps work on a 500 grams per second basis, so if you want to fully utilize a gas pipe, you have to have 2 gas pumps. Liquid pipes are a bit different, and actually maybe we could show that off by mousing over. They hold 10 kilograms per second of something, and the liquid pumps in 10 kilograms per second, so full 100% uptime through that. And then finally the conveyor rail, they transport them in chunks, so the heaviest thing that they hold is about 20 kilograms per second, but as they're put into the thing, they're still transported in chunks, so if you drop in several critter eggs at once, then they'll travel one at a time through through the conveyor rails. There's also a little bit about the physics of it that's a bit more to be described. So basically something in the pipes already takes precedence over something being introduced into the system through the green slots. So if we were to have 10 polluted water sitting here, but 10 kilograms of polluted water travelling through here, then it won't let anything pass through here. They have to wait for a break in the pipe before they'll let anything through. Our food supplies are getting a little low again. There's also that they always flow in specific directions. It's kind of hard for me to describe it without visuals, but I don't want to set up visuals because it would sort of break things up a bit. When they come to a branch in the path, then they'll try to split up equally between them, so we'll get half of it going this way, half of it going that way, taking turns. But if we were to, say, introduce a conveyor bridge here for some reason, we would actually everything that comes through here would go straight to here, and whatever comes over the conveyor bridge would go halfway this way, halfway that way. So you have to be you have to be careful about when you're introducing inputs, because it doesn't just have to be a conveyor bridge. If it's a conveyor bridge and it goes some railing into here, it would still have the same effect. The way to save that would be to introduce a conveyor bridge here. Then we'd get 50% flowing that way, and 100% of whatever's being introduced here. And I think the last thing that we need that I could teach about this stuff is that if we introduce a conveyor bridge here, 100% of all things that go through here would go into the conveyor bridge. The only way for any materials to make it further along would be when this conveyor bridge is blocked up. But that can actually have uses because it lets you prioritize certain areas getting materials over others. So we could install a conveyor bridge here, and it will ensure that all the hatches on the topmost ranch are fed first before any of the others. But yeah, think carefully about when you're introducing things into the system. Ooh. I was worried for a second that you were going to grab something off the wall, but shouldn't have worried. I hate the drowning cages. But it's the only way to efficiently make the food, because if you We can't keep them alive. We need the meat. Oh, ooh. Transporting all that polluted water did actually risk germs getting into the base. It's good to see that didn't happen. Anyway, now that that's done, it's all said and done, let's expand a bit. We want tiles here, here, and here, there. Continue the piping through here. Then bring it down. Half this way, half that way. And then, okay, so this is a thing of choice. For 90% of the time, if you just run the pipe across it like this, and then back into the system, that won't cause any problems. But if the polluted water starts to back up in here, then it can cause the sinks and the toilets to go offline because they can't get their polluted water out of the system. So it shouldn't matter, but I'm going to do more of a fine-tooth comb pattern here. And of course we need a liquid bridge here. I think I'll make this our priority for construction. Wash your hands, please and thank you. But the one that we absolutely need to make sure is complete before the day, as soon as possible, is this one here. Not for the pipe, but because we don't want to ruin the barracks. Alright, actually the priorities mean that they won't go after that. We did get 2,000 grams of meat, thankfully. There's a bit of a problem where, due to how this works, it gives just enough open time for a hatch to eat the meat before it can get into the conveyor rail, because that is actually one of the things that, if it's edible, a hatch can eat it. We don't want that. That's why usually it's a good idea to try and go for stone hatchling ranches, because they eat most types of rocks. And you'll find other types of rocks more common than sand and sandstone, which is what these guys like to eat. But also stone hatchlings aren't going to eat your meat straight out of the drowning chamber. The downside is that feeding them requires a lot of sedimentary rock, and we don't quite have that much yet. We need to dig out some of the swamp and some of the sandstone biome to get our hands on the sedimentary rock. Now, should we find the teleporter, I'm pretty sure sedimentary rock is stupidly common in our sister asteroid. Okay, I want to bring in organics, but I only want algae and eggshells here. I don't want polluted dirt or rock piles or slime, because those off-gas and those can be covered in germs. Over here, I think I want to clear up all the dirt. I want to save these for sand and sandstone because that's what I want to feed to the hatches. But what I could get rid of is seeds. And to save on time, you just install an auto sweeper here. That way, once people start putting sand into this box, it'll sweep it straight into the water sieve when needed. Install a conveyor loader there. You know what I didn't show? I didn't show what else you get for finishing the... Where was it? Smelting. Also, there's the ladder bed, but... Okay, I guess I'll show it. Ladder bed. Provides a sleeping area for one duplicant and functions as ladder, but duplicant sleep will be interrupted if another duplicant uses the ladder. So these are for bedrooms when you have very little space to work with, such as in rockets. But the metal tiles are basically tiles, but they're made out of refined metal. Heat travels much more quickly through metal tile than other types of flooring. So they're actually used for when you want to deal with specific heat levels while still splitting away liquids or gases or what have you. But that's not important. What is important is if we go to refinement, the metal refinery produce refined metals from raw metal ore, significantly heats and outputs liquid piped into it. So this has a 100% conversion rate, so as opposed to the rock crusher, which is losing 50% of the metal that we put into it, and as opposed to smooth hatches, which only produce 75% of the metal that comes out, and Steve might be having another opera day. The metal refinery produces 100% of the metal you put into it. The catch is that it is very heat. When we start dealing with that, we've got a very good chance of cooking the base if we aren't careful with it. It's also the only way to make steel, unfortunately, and we desperately need steel for some of our later projects. So the way that most people do it is that they look for a big lake of polluted water. In fact, I might as well use this one because I don't think I'm going to be getting any use out of this being a cold area. You pump the polluted. The way it works is that it has a specific heat capacity of 4.179. The heat capacity is how much energy it takes to heat it up. And the more energy it can take, the better the better liquid it makes for the metal refinery because it heats up slower. If the water going in is too hot, then it actually turns into steam and ruptures the system, so we don't want that. Eventually we'll have a way to make sure that we don't care about we won't care at all how hot the water is, because it will be cooled down instantly, but we aren't at that place yet, so we've got to think carefully about how we want to set up a system to refine the metals. And of course, if it gets too cold, the liquid solidifies and it cracks the pipes anyway, so we can't just build the liquid refinery here and don't care at all, because the liquid's being piped in, they're cracking anyway. We've actually mostly cleared out this place of water. We're going to have to unearth this lake, I think. I think actually I just need to tag this as one consistent 9 rank priority job if I want to get it gotten done. Okay, who's new? Oh! Okay, if we get this, it should give us enough meat for... Okay, they should reach an elder... They should produce an egg in about 20 days. That egg will take 5 days to hatch. And then they'll have their 20 days of their own, so that's 70, 82... Honestly, I think just the single hit of hatch eggs will be worth it. So now what we have to do is we have to guide them into this. We open this door, we let them swim over into this. Yeah, they just flop out on the ground, hurting nobody. They'll be worth 8,000 Pacu Filet. That's 12,800 meat in total, so that would actually be a nice hit to the system in travel to the journey to the carnivore achievement. Although something of slight concern. We still don't have Locavore. Should take about 4 days to get there, but still. Connect these cables, and so. Where's the chlorine gone, actually? Yeah, it's heavier than oxygen, so it's all sort of stabilizing around here. Actually, I'm kind of used to there being a bunch of shine bugs around here. I don't get why not. We have liquid tuning. There are 2 things in there that we really care about. This is just a increase the temperature of water to 85 degrees, or, well, liquid. But it's also very power hungry, like 960 watts. That's just barely safe to be put on a standard copper wire. I've only ever seen it really have 2 uses. One is for heating up water to turn into steam. Or rather, heating up water so you can turn it into steam in it. Oh, really. But it can't be turned into steam on its own, it has to go an extra mile. But the other is that it can be used to heat up oil in a slickster ranch when you need to desperately adjust the heat, but that's not important at the moment. This, on the other hand, is the Thermo Aqua Tuner. Cool the liquid piped through it, but output heat in the immediate vicinity. So basically what it does is that it absorbs heat. It absorbs the heat of the water that goes through it. So you aren't so much getting rid of heat. The amount of heat in the world stays stable. But you're transferring it into a different area, and that can be useful in a lot. There are certain builds that use the Thermo Aqua Tuner, and they are great. But to use it effectively, we need steel. Which is why I'm looking for somewhere to set up a metal refinery. The other thing of note, well, we have the liquid meter valve now. We don't have plastic to use it, but we do have this. We have the liquid pipe element sensor, which tells us exactly what element is in a pipe. Or, well, no, it doesn't quite do that. What it does is it looks for a specific element in a pipe, which still has its uses. And then we have the liquid pipe thermosensor, which checks the temperature in the pipe. But finally, radiant liquid pipe. So the liquid pipe has a 100 kilogram mass. It'll eventually match the temperature of its environment and match the temperature of whatever's in it. The insulated liquid pipe has 400 mass and the insulated property, so it's going to take a lot longer for whatever's inside it to match the temperature of whatever's outside it. The radiant liquid pipe is different, allowing extreme temperature exchange with the surrounding environment, so it has a reduced mass. And on top of that, it's made out of metals that are thermally reactive and high thermal conductivity. They're actually fantastic for transferring temperatures about. And if you combine that with a metal tile, oh boy, you can make things hit whatever temperature you want if you combine that with the liquid thermo pipe sensor and the thermo aqua tuner. So we now have a lot of control over the temperature. We just don't have any purpose to go and, well, at the moment we don't have the materials to make the high-end stuff. And anyway, time's up for the day. I'm sorry I went on that long talk about research. Until next time guys, take care. I'll see you all around.